Welcome to my YouTube channel, Story Station. If is your first time for visiting, please subscribe and like for more videos. The Forbidden Kingdom. Episode 3. Betrayal under the Baobab. For centuries, the Baobab had stood at the heart of the savannah, its roots digging deeper than memory, its branches stretching higher than time. It was here that the elders met, oaths were sworn, and disputes settled. To fight beneath its shade was to summon the judgment of the ancestors. And yet beneath its watchful silence, betrayal was already stirring. Simone's heart no longer beat with brotherhood. Where once he had stood beside Lekan as a comrade in battle, he now sat alone, poisoned by jealousy. Each glance he had seen between Nysiana and Lekan replayed in his mind like a wound that would not close. Envy, like fire, consumed him from within, and soon it would seek to consume them all. Lekan tried to lose himself in duty, in the steady rhythm of the cattle, in the innocence of the young who looked up to him. But shadows haunted him. Where Simone once smiled, he now glared. Where once laughter had bound them, silence now split them apart, even in peace. Lekan could not escape the storm that grew nearer each day. Nysiana sat like a bride, yet felt like a prisoner. Her reflection did not show joy. It showed sorrow wrapped in beauty. Each bead laid upon her shoulders felt like another weight pressing her down, a reminder that her life no longer belonged to her heart, but to the will of the elders. And though she sat silent, her spirit screamed within. Simone's weapon was no longer only the spear, it was his tongue. With lies sharpened like blades, he told the elders of secret meetings, of stolen nights, of a warrior who sought to dishonor the tribe. And though the elders knew rumors were dangerous, doubt, once planted, grows quickly in the soil of tradition. Before the circle of the elders, Lekan stood not as a warrior, but as an accused man. They asked him of the whispers. They asked him of the elder's daughter. And though his heart burned to speak the truth, he knew that to admit love was to condemn them both. So he bowed his head and gave them silence. But silence, in the eyes of the elders, was not safety. It was defiance. Her heart broke with every word spoken against him, yet her lips could not defend him. She was bound to her father's honor, trapped in her duty as a daughter. So she carried her grief alone, and her tears watered the dust like rain that no one noticed. But envy is clever. Simone spoke of Lekan as a threat, as a danger to tradition, as a man who placed his desire above the will of the ancestors. And though some doubted, others believed. In the silence beneath the Baobab, a trap was set. It was beneath the great tree that the storm finally broke. Before his brothers, Lekan was accused openly. To some, he was still a hero. To others, he was already guilty. The circle of warriors tightened, and the air grew heavy with judgment. He denied dishonor, denied treachery, denied betrayal of his people. Yet love cannot hide in the eyes, and when his gaze strayed, the whispers grew louder, for all who watched saw the truth he tried to bury. And then, betrayal leapt from shadow to daylight. With a sudden strike, Simone cast aside the mask of brotherhood. Spears clashed, dust rose, and the sacred Baobab bore witness to the breaking of bonds. Once, they had stood shoulder to shoulder, fighting side by side. Now they faced each other as enemies, their spears flashing like lightning, their anger louder than thunder. Dust covered their feet, but the ancestors saw clearly the betrayal beneath the tree. Her voice broke through the circle, a cry of fear and love too strong to be hidden. And in that cry, the whispers of love became truth before the entire tribe. The first blood fell, staining the sacred ground. It was no longer only a fight between men. It was a wound upon the village, a tear in the fabric of tradition itself. Strength was his, victory in his grasp. In that single breath, he could have ended the rivalry forever. But to strike was to betray his own spirit, for love had not made him cruel. It had made him merciful. The elders would not allow the Baobab to drink more blood. With voices of thunder, they ended the fight. Yet though the spears were lowered, the wound remained. Brothers no longer, enemies forever. Judgment was not given that day, but the air carried the weight of punishment to come. For when love and duty collide, tradition does not forget. It waits, patient as the earth, until justice or vengeance is done. She faced a choice no daughter should bear. To obey was to lose her heart. To defy was to dishonor her father, her clan, her ancestors. In silence, she prayed for strength. But the gods of tradition are slow to answer. Defeated in battle, Simone's envy grew darker. Mercy had spared his life, but mercy also shamed him. And a shamed man does not forgive. He plots. In his silence, hatred grew teeth. The Baobab had seen brotherhood and betrayal, mercy and malice. But the storm was not over. It was only beginning. For love had broken its chains, and soon blood would flow again in the Forbidden Kingdom. This was the story of the Forbidden Kingdom. Episode 3, Betrayal under the Baobab. Thank you for watching our videos from my YouTube channel, Story Station. Please subscribe for more videos.